Hey guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a table in SQL. So once you're connected to SQL Server Management Studio, you're going to open a new query by clicking New Query. So this is the SQL statement you're going to write to create a table. Create table, table name, which in my case would be employee, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. And within the parentheses, you're going to define all the columns and their data types. I'm going to go over the data types in a different video, but in this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to create a table called employee. So my first column would be employee ID, data type, which would be integer, first name, VARCHAR 255, last name, VARCHAR 255, maybe another column with employee email address, so email address VARCHAR 255, city VARCHAR 20, state VARCHAR 20, and maybe another column called employee age, and we'll define it as integer. And once you're done, we'll close the parentheses like we did here. So open parentheses, close parentheses, and semicolon. So in this case, we are going to create a table called employee with column employee ID, integer, first name, last name, both as varchar, email address, city, state, and employee age. I'm going to go over the data types in a different video, but integer, varchar, these are all data types. And employee ID, first name, last name, email address, city, state, employee age, they're all column names. And before you create the table, we have to define what database we are going to create that table. So the table is just an object in a database. So you can select the database by either going here and selecting your database name. So in this case, it's code samples. The other thing you can do is use the use database statement to define your database. So we can also do use code samples. So this is the same as selecting your code samples, your database name here. So this accomplishes the same thing as using this drop down. So once we are done writing this, we are going to click on execute. Commands completed successfully. So our table has been created in the database defined here, which is code samples. So the next thing we're going to do is go to code samples and open it up. Go to your tables and open it up. And just right click on it and click refresh. You see our table employee has been created here. So once you open it up, you can see all the columns in that table that we defined while creating the table. So we have employee table within code samples database with these columns: employee name, first name, last name, email address, city, state, employee age. So we have created a new object called table in code samples database. Here's the syntax to create a table in SQL. You have your create table, table name. In our case, it was employee. Column 1, the data type of column 1. So in our case, it was employee ID. Employee ID was the column name, and integer, int, was the data type. And then you can have multiple columns with multiple data types till your column n, which will be your last column, and the data type for that column. And you close the parentheses with the semicolon. So we just created a table called employee in the code samples database. I'm going to provide this code in the description below so you can try it out too, and let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for watching.